Now to cover some of the nuts and bolts of the project itself, this research will be approached in a highly systematic way. Primarily, it will encompass addressing the subject matter from five specific ways. Starting from the left top, we will discuss the why, establishing why the American Church does not address persecution. The next step will be through a biblical analysis. What does the Bible text say about persecution specifically? This will be a comprehensive analysis. After that, I will explore the historical aspects of persecution. More specifically, how did the historical church respond to persecution? And this will cover from the very beginning of Christianity at the death of Christ to around 1600 AD or just after the Reformation. Then I will explore the modern aspects of persecution. How does the modern church in other countries respond to persecution specifically in a means of extracting those responses and those tactics for our use here in America? And finally, a practical aspect, I will develop a practical guide on how to respond to future persecution in the United States. Now, this project has been laid out in two major phases. Phase one will include this proposal and proposal presentation, as well as once the proposal has been completed, it will also include the bulk of the research. Then it will go on to phase two, which will include the actual dissertation itself, and then finally the dissertation defense. So the bulk of phase one will include, beyond this proposal, uh, the majority of the research. And I estimate to be finished by the end of March 2021 with phase one. There will be several hundred monographs, secondary sources, and academic journal articles that will need to be reviewed and assessed in the three major topical areas of persecution, philosophy of death, and Enochian worldview. As I stated before, once phase one is completed, I will move on to phase two, where I will conduct the majority of the necessary analysis of the data and information gathered and will assess and compile that data into a conducive arrangement and will complete the dissertation writing and the editing of every section in the dissertation. In phase two, once the formal submission of the dissertation is made and the remarks have been received back from my advisor and the committee, then I will produce a full defense, both in writing and also in video format. I will also produce a dissertation presentation as well in video format. So in conclusion, I would like to thank again my advisor and any committee participants and reviewers for taking the time to examine my official proposal and this presentation. I submit it in consideration for approval of the dissertation research topic and feel confident that I'll be able to make a case for the necessity of a comprehensive curriculum addressing the theology of persecution in the American Church. This research will show that the American Church is not ready for the inevitable persecution that is to come. Instead of denying this biblically predicted fate, the American Church needs to develop a comprehensive curriculum that can be used to equip the saints to suffer for Christ even to the death. This research will produce both the justification for and the actual curriculum itself. This final project will be made available to the Church Universal for pastors, for teachers, and for individuals to help prepare them for whatever is to come. And with that, I would like to close with a prayer for all the saints who find themselves called by God to stand and give account before the rulers and the governments of this age because of their faith. May they stand strong in their faith and speak boldly that some might be saved. May all things in the world and in the hereafter be to the glory of God.